Manchester United set out for Turkey tomorrow evening ahead of their crunch tie against Fenerbahce, including old manager Jose Mourinho. But they go into that game without suspended captain Bruno Fernandes. In this show, I want to ask you, I've got a poll running now live. Please do get your comments in as well and let me know. Keep talking. Who is your ideal replacement for Bruno Fernandes? Is this the perfect opportunity for Erik ten Hag to try something new and hopefully stumble upon another option for Manchester United going forward? Bruno Fernandes divides opinion like no other player at Manchester United. I think we can all agree with that. Petulant, wasteful, not a team player, doesn't work in a system. All of these complaints have come out about Bruno Fernandes over his whole time at Manchester United. You go way back to when Bruno Fernandes actually first signed for Manchester United. Everything was going great. Everyone was talking up Bruno Fernandes, talking about how good he was and what a signing United had finally made in midfield. That creative magician, you could say, that has finally come to Manchester United. But Bruno Fernandes himself came out in an interview, and I don't think many Manchester United fans can remember this interview, but he said in it, "This is all good and well now, everyone is happy, but you will come to hate me. You will come to dislike me in time." Bruno Fernandes accepting the type of player that he is, what he does, how he plays. And over the years, we've sort of loved him and hated him. But I feel now Bruno Fernandes has been at the club, a minimal success, couple of trophies, obviously, as we know, under Erik ten Hag. But has Bruno's time at Manchester United actually been a flop? Has it been successful in a way that Manchester United fans want? Him personally, his own personal player accolades have been outstanding. He's been superb. The numbers speak for themselves. But I think with nothing actually happening on the pitch in an overall sense of things, in terms of United achieving what they should do for the standing that we are, I think fans have finally come to the conclusion that it is time to change. And Bruno Fernandes is now one of them players that we would be looking to move on in the next couple of years and obviously find a replacement and a different style. Has Bruno Fernandes been holding United back? That's another question. He does produce. He constantly produces moments of magic for United to win games, like the one he did with Rasmus Højlund and the winning goal at weekend. On the peripheral and not really having a good game, but then bang, in goes the goal and Bruno Fernandes is the hero again. All of a sudden, United get the 3 points and no one's really picking at anything that he's doing. This week, though, we are playing Fenerbahce in a must-win game. United still, obviously, not on the board in terms of wins in this Europa League this term and need to get a result in very, very quickly just to get themselves in a decent position within this early league phase of the competition. The new league phase, obviously, 36 teams in this league. Manchester United need to qualify in the top 22, I think it is, to make sure that you are in a playoff. Top 8 if you want to qualify automatically for the knockout phases. 15 points is seen as the mark. United sitting on 2 points and obviously needing wins very fast. 5 games after this one this week. So if United do win this game against Fenerbahce, we will be perfectly placed to comfortably qualify, you would think on paper with the competition that we've got left to play in it, in that top 8. But without Bruno Fernandes this week, is it the perfect chance for Erik ten Hag to do something different? I'm going to go through the players with you all in the live chat, and do get your comments in below as well regarding who you would bring in. Are there any picks that you would put forward that we're not talking about? I've got 3 players that are in the mix for this. I've got 3 players that Manchester United could use, and I'm going to start with the first one. And by the way, hello to everybody in the live chat. Please do give the video a like as well. Thank you. Make sure you've subscribed to Forever United TV. We're going to go into these players now. And first up, off the mark, obviously we've got Ahmad. He's the man that has been forgotten about, I think, recently. I don't think Manchester United fans are overly concerned, but there'll become a time when you're looking at Ahmad and wondering, like, when is this kid going to actually get into the side? When is he actually going to break through into Manchester United's first team consistently? We thought at the start of the season that Ahmad was going to be the player that was holding down that right-hand side. Times have changed. Ten Hag desperately needed a result against Aston Villa. He went all defensive, and Ahmad was sat on the bench, didn't even make an appearance as a substitute. Again against Brentford, another crunch game. Yes, United won. The front 3 played well, all contributing to goals which got United a very important 3 points in the Premier League at weekend, but no sign of Ahmad again. 2 games in a row with not making an appearance. Is he favourite to get that place? Is he favourite to actually get into that team on Thursday night in Turkey against Fenerbahce for Erik ten Hag's side? Is this how we should be looking at it now? Is it that creative sort of spark? We know that Ahmad looks after the ball better than any other player. We know that he is that creative player who's created more chances than anybody else in Manchester United's side. Even playing half the games that everyone else has. Like only 50% of the games Ahmad has played, and he is still creating more chances than anybody else. Is he the right option for this game, though? That's what you've got to say. Do we need... we don't know how Jose Mourinho is going to play it for Fenerbahce. He could obviously look at this and go low block, park the bus, do a proper Jose on us, and frustrate, and then hopefully nick a goal. Look, Fenerbahce have scored a lot of goals. The Fenerbahce crowd are not happy with Jose Mourinho at the moment because he lost the Istanbul derby, obviously. He lost to Galatasaray. His only defeat of the season, by the way. So far, 10 games in as the manager of Fenerbahce, 1 defeat. It was a crushing defeat to Galatasaray, which is why the fans are a bit upset. So a big win against a massive opposition like Manchester United would definitely put them back in, or put Jose back in the good books, let's just say, with the fan base, the fanatical fan base, which we know Fenerbahce have. So when you look at that, you have to look at Jose Mourinho, who's going to pull out all of the stops. Manchester United without their captain Bruno Fernandes. Do we bring in Ahmad into the equation as someone who can pick the pocket of this Fenerbahce defence? Are we going to be looking at that low block from Jose and need that creative player there? Someone who is going to look after the ball better, not just waste it? Maybe this is the perfect game for Bruno Fernandes to not actually be in and not actually play in. It's interesting to see how Ten Hag... It's going to be interesting to see how Ten Hag does it. Does he even change the shape? We've seen the 4-4-2 sort of system that's been implemented over the weekend against Brentford. And when you look at that, and Bruno Fernandes actually playing alongside Rasmus at times, Rashford dropping in at times, and a hybrid interchangeable front three as you see on paper, but in-game it changes and chops all over the place. So... interesting there, but I feel like Ahmad, personally, for me, would relish the opportunity to play at 10. But with Ten Hag consistently playing him on the right-hand side when he gets any game time at all, he hasn't played anywhere else on the pitch, really. The odd little foyer onto the left-hand side, perhaps, but still, I feel like we don't see Ahmad... and we won't see Ahmad play at number 10. I've got him on the list because he can play there, and I'm looking at every single option. If I nosy on into the live chat now and just see who would play in place of Bruno, who would you vote? Only 21% of you are saying that Ahmad should play in at number 10. Is that basically off you wanting Ahmad to actually play there to see if it works? Or do you actually feel like there's no chance of him even getting in there because of Ten Hag, and it's pointless him even being in the list because we know that Ten Hag is never going to give him the opportunity there? I think that's what you've got to look at in all of this. And I think when you look at Ahmad, he brings qualities, he brings quality delivery as well, and that may be why he'd be out on the right-hand side. So in terms of player, I feel, and I'm going to come to the live chat in all of this in a moment, so please keep your comments flying in the live chat. I'm going to go through the players first of all. Ahmad, I feel, probably will not make it into that number 10 role. I'm hoping with Bruno not being in that he will get an opportunity at some point somewhere on the pitch, because I'm starting to get a little bit concerned that he is just going to fall out of favour again. He's going to lose everything that he was building up, which was decent momentum. Let's not kid ourselves. Like, Ahmad was playing well. And like we said, he was creating umpteen chances. So without Bruno Fernandes there's an opportunity for him to come in? Or is it that obvious that the next contender, who everybody is going with at the moment and is favourite to take this position, are Mr Christian Eriksen? Of course, Eriksen is the natural fit. He has been playing consistently, and a lot of Manchester United fans would say Christian Eriksen has been United's best player so far this season. In fact, the chat right now, the poll is saying overwhelmingly, 49% of you out of the 3 players on this list, Christian Eriksen is going to be the number 10 and replace Bruno Fernandes tonight. There is actually quite a lot of Manchester United fans excited at the thought of Christian Eriksen coming into his natural position. I spoke with a Danish football expert, especially on the international scene, last week, and he was saying that Christian Eriksen plays in a double 10, like 3 up top, plays as a 10, but ventures out to the left-hand side of that 10. He is naturally fitted there. They cannot understand why Christian Eriksen has never been played in his natural role at Manchester United. Why was he brought in to the football club if you're never going to play him in that role? And what you have to look at there is, again, down to the management and the system and how he wants to play these players. So when you go into detail on why Christian Eriksen hasn't been played there, there's only one, and that's the major factor. And the player that we're talking about today in this live show, which is Bruno Fernandes. Christian Eriksen has been a victim of not so much Bruno Fernandes becoming the captain and undroppable in Ten Hag's eyes, but I just feel like he's there simply because Bruno Fernandes is he's seen as that one creative player. And like we said at the start, all of the stats and everything that comes forward with Bruno and the numbers all add up. He has been a consistent performer for Manchester United. And with them backing him with that contract at the start of this season, I think they've committed so much to Bruno, and I think sometimes they commit and overcommit, and you come to a point where it's like, we cannot now back out of this. And I think they've backed themselves into a corner. There was a lot of United fans who said they should have just sold Bruno and moved on in the summer, made a fresh start from there. There's some that saying you can't get rid of Bruno. If we had 10 Brunos on the pitch with his attitude, then we wouldn't be in the position that we're in right now. It's an ever ongoing debate. But the one key thing in everything, looking ahead to this crunch game against Fenerbahce, is that he is not going to be there. And a lot of United fans and a lot of pundits and everybody in football are all going to be they're all going to be glued to the screen in watching how Manchester United actually get through this game this week and get into what I feel is going to be a different style of play. I think it will be without Bruno Fernandes. I actually feel, do you know one interesting stat? An interesting stat on Thursday night when we play Fenerbahce will be how much possession Manchester United keep and how much possession we keep in the final third. Like, Bruno is intense. Bruno will press. Bruno will consistently run everywhere and put more effort and put more miles in than any other player on the pitch. We know this. He is known for it. He is that energetic player that will always give you more than anybody else. It's the it's the way that United want to play. The players that are on the pitch right now, does that suit them? That's what you've got to look at. Christian Eriksen, I think, looks after the ball. He's calmer. I think he will pick pockets. And you know what? Eriksen is scoring goals at the moment. He's our best scoring midfielder. So when you look at it that way, you can see why people are picking Christian Eriksen as the top player to come in and replace Bruno. The question for Ten Hag is, whoever comes into this role, and we'll bring one more player up now, who is Joshua Zirkzee, I feel whoever comes into this role, in their minds, are they fully committed? Because they know, and I think we all know, that even if they play well on Thursday, come Sunday afternoon when we walk out against West Ham, we know that that player who has replaced Bruno Fernandes, whether it be Ahmad, whether it be Zirkzee or Christian Eriksen, we know that that player is not going to be in that team against West Ham on Sunday. We know, don't we? The captain will walk back into the side. Say, for instance, yeah, and this will be where even the biggest Ten Hag inners will have a big complaint about what he's doing with this team. We could smash Fenerbahce and have a fantastic result and beat them well, and then Bruno Fernandes walks straight back into that side on Sunday, and United don't get the victory, and he will be digging himself another hole, won't he, Ten Hag, with it? And that's the problem that we've got. I feel like he is just too stubborn, and he won't change things that are obvious. He doesn't like listening to anybody else, and that's the problem that we've got with him. And I think that's the biggest fear, because Joshua Zirkzee could easily do this role. I think loads of people, we had a discussion on my show last night about Zirkzee and where he fits in, and if he is actually going to survive at United. We were talking on Flex's show on United View last night about, is he even that? Is anybody afraid of Zirkzee? Is he all that good? We talked about Juventus actually taking Zirkzee on loan away at some point in this season, because United want to bring in another striker maybe in the summer. Look, I think Zirkzee is a different type of player. I feel like he is a foil for Rasmus Højlund. I would love, personally, if you were to give me the option, I would take Zirkzee and put him in at number 10. I just want to see how he does and how he plays. I would love to have Eriksen in the side still. I would love to have Eriksen. My perfect midfield, well, let's just say, if you're going to pick three in there, going from defensive midfield to 8 to 10, if that's how we're going to play it. I would have Ugarte, I would have Eriksen, and I would have Joshua Zirkzee. I know we've got options then on the bench in Casemiro, a bit of experience. I think he won't go there. I think he'll go with Eriksen. I think he'll go with Casemiro and Ugarte. I think Casemiro will play in at the number 8 role, more of the marauding midfielder with the security behind him. That might work for United. I'm not saying that won't work, but I do believe that will be where Ten Hag goes and how he goes with it. I think this is just an opportunity to see, but because the chips are they're so much down on the table right now, which they are for Ten Hag, I don't think he's going to play a risk. I don't think he's going to play the unknown, which is Zirkzee from the starting at 10. I would love to see him play alongside Rasmus Højlund or link up with Højlund and see how them two do together. I think everybody wants to see it. And maybe, you know what, in that Carabao Cup in a week's time at home to Leicester, we may see some form of mix between that. We may see a bit of change in Ten Hag's tactics on bringing in Zirkzee into the side there, maybe resting Bruno. I mean, he has done it. He has rested Bruno in that first Barnsley game, so maybe that is something we can cling on to as time's changing a bit. But these important games, the one against Fenerbahce, I would love to see Zirkzee there again, but I do believe that the man that is going to be in that position is definitely Christian Eriksen. I think he will be in at number 10. I don't think there's any Manchester United fan will have a problem with it. But please do get into the comments, and coming into them comments now, would you go any other way, or does it have to be the experience of Eriksen, Casemiro, Ugarte, these solid professional players? Not saying that everyone else isn't professional, but you know, in terms of experience, Casemiro and Eriksen have been there and done it all, haven't they? So maybe that is the way that we are going to go in this, and this is how Ten Hag is going to play it out. He just wants experienced, reliable players on the pitch. Well, players that he feels are reliable to him. We may differ in that one, but 50% of you in the poll right now in the live chat are actually saying that Eriksen should be the man that plays that role instead of Bruno Fernandes. He is the automatic replacement. Completely get it. 100% with you on that one. I think Christian Eriksen is the obvious. I just wanted to gauge where you were at. Would you bring in someone else? Is there another option there? Should we be looking at Ten Hag now and saying, we want to see your team on this pitch right now? This is the first time I feel like he could blood a team with every single one of his players. Now, obviously, Ahmad, Garnacho, Diallo, players like this, he didn't bring in, but obviously they're go-to players for him. He's the one that brought Garnacho through. He's the one that gave Ahmad his chance. Obviously, Diallo is the most improved player under him from the old regime, from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Ralf Rangnick era and everything like that. So I would say that they are Ten Hag players. I think this game tonight is Thursday night. I think is the perfect opportunity for Erik Ten Hag to play his team. And I mean his players, the ones that he has brought in. Because there's no Bruno. You don't have to play Rashford. I think he will because he's on form. But there's a chance, you know what I mean? There's an opportunity for him to say, look, this is my team. Basically, that team is going to be 90% Ten Hag players on Thursday night. That's all we need to know. And we want to see how this team plays, without Bruno Fernandes. And that is vital. That's important, I feel, for us all to know. And probably him himself, Ten Hag. Can he leave Bruno Fernandes out? Has he got the balls to do it when he's not suspended? Yes, he is his captain. But there is other captain material on that pitch. It doesn't have to be Bruno Fernandes. Yes, he leads by example a lot of the time in his effort and everything like that. But still, there are other options there. And I think a lot of the United fan base would just like to see something a little bit different on that pitch other than Bruno. He can come on. I think Bruno Fernandes as an impact substitute is absolutely lethal, by the way. I think he comes on. I think he's not happy that he's been on the bench. We've seen it against Barnsley. He just came on. He was literally on the pitch 10 minutes. Bang, bang, 2 assists there. I'll take that. He's brilliant. And you know what? As an impact player, Bruno Fernandes in his later years at Manchester United could be effective from the bench. He won't like it and it won't happen. But you know what I'm saying? Bruno Fernandes as a bench player is lethal. He could come on and just change a game like that. You could have the system. It might not be working. The players are not performing. You just need someone to do something, like Scott McTominay last season, And bang, there is Bruno on the pitch, hits that ball, hits that cross, has that one moment. Let's be honest, the opposition are not prepared for a Bruno Fernandes. They're not set out that way with the way that United would be playing without him from the get-go. So when he does come onto the pitch, it gives him a better opportunity. And I think with where he is in his career at United right now and how it's actually going, I think that Bruno Fernandes would benefit actually from spending time on the bench and coming on off the bench onto the pitch and having an impact that way. Professionals never want to be on the bench. I know this, but if you've got a manager strong enough who can galvanise a full squad, and if players like Ahmad and Eriksen see Bruno sat on the bench and coming on here and there, it would give them the confidence to actually, you know what? Oh, it would give them that boost, I think, in the mindset of like thinking, well, this is United. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter how good you've been, what your numbers are, what your stats are, how much you paid, whatever your squad number is. It doesn't count for diddly squat. It doesn't. You're a United player, and as a United player, you have got to expect to be sat on that bench and someone else will come in and take your place. No one is ever safe. There's not one. We all know that there's not one player on that pitch that warrants to be in that first team from 1 to 11 on any given week. Saturday, Sunday, whatever, midweek, whatever competition, there's not one player in Man United's squad that deserves to be definitely starting week in, week out. We know this. And I think that if he just did these minor little changes, me personally, only my opinion I know, but I'm going to come to the chat now and find out what you think about this. I personally feel like that would be a massive win for Ten Hag. I just think there is something there that he can do right now. Do you know what? Bruno's a pro. He will sit on the sideline. He won't sulk. Yeah, he won't be happy. But it will give him that incentive as well to go on and go, I need to change my game a little bit maybe to get back in the starting lineup. I just think there's an opportunity there, real opportunity right now. It starts on Thursday, obviously, through default because he is actually suspended. But look at it. Use it. Take these little bits of changes that are coming about inadvertently within a season and try and find something with it. So it's there. It's there. I wanted to put that out there and just say, like, look, there are other options apart from Bruno. As much as I love him, I would still utilise him and play him, but he doesn't need to be off. He doesn't need to be in the starting lineup. Simple, yeah? You would hope so anyway. Well, let's get into the live chat anyway. Please keep liking the video. We're almost at that 100 mark, guys. Thank you. Right, okay. Do we have to save some legs for West Ham? Don't play the same players for both games, says Almac. Look, I get it. What's more important? Look, best opportunity to get in Europe right now. Get to me in the chat. Is it the Europa League or is it the Premier League top 4? I think a lot of people would say the Europa League with the quality of opposition that are in it and where we are in the league. Wouldn't you agree? So he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, Ten Hag, because he can win on Thursday night, and then we'll be looking at that. Right, we turn the corner, we're back in place now in the Europa League. But then, because we're knackered, we get beat by West Ham, who are atrocious, and the knives will be out for Ten Hag. He's made this scenario himself through everything else that's happened at the start of the season. And this was my biggest point. It's like everyone's saying, yes, it's a good result now. Give it time, give it time. The problem we've had such a crap start to the season, and everyone's willing to accept it, is that now we're in a position where we cannot go full ball against Fenernache and then lose a game against West Ham. It's just recycling itself and going back to where we was. Because we haven't got any consistency at all, and we are willing to forget about the first 7 games of the season and where we are in the league, and let's just see how well we do. Well, we know we're going to be knackered on Sunday, and if we lose to West Ham, it doesn't matter what he's done against Fenerbahce. We're in a position now where he needs to win on Thursday night, and he needs to win on Sunday. Nothing else will do, and there's no excuse for him. He's got a big enough squad, he just doesn't use it. We just explained there then how Bruno consistently plays, even though he's playing bad. You've got Ahmad, who hasn't played a bleeding game for nearly 4 weeks. He didn't go on international duty. He's not seen any first-team football for nearly 4 weeks, the lad. That will be the case if he doesn't play in any of these 2 games this week, by the way. It's crazy. And this is the guy that has created more chances than anybody else in our squad. Obviously, Ahmad Diallo is a donkey. Oh, come on. I don't think he's that bad. Ahmad, far superior to Eriksen, says Alan Kane. Let's see what else we've got. Alan Kane. All the money is in the Champions League and the best players. I feel Ahmad is going to leave on a free. He won't accept his bit part role, and rightly so. United, that was from Ginger. United did turn down, let's not forget, in the summer, a bid in excess of 30 million for Ahmad. Will he be the scapegoat? Will he be the scapegoat? That's what we've got to look at as well, because Manchester United are still looking at young talent in the transfer market as well. As you can see at the bottom of your screen there, from the Portuguese publication, Manchester United have explored the possibility of signing 17-year-old sporting wonder kid Giovanni Quenda. I think that's how you say it, Giovanni Quenda. He has been dubbed as one of the most promising players of his generation. Another one of them promising superstars coming through. And you've got to ask the question, you know what? I said it yesterday in last night's show, the situation with the Premier League right now, where we're at with this vote today on how shareholder investment into football clubs will go, with what City have won with the Premier League and PSR, financial fair play and all of that palaver. It's going to be interesting how Manchester United, if they don't make a certain position in the league or get into the Champions League, what they do with players. And Ahmad will be one of them. Like, look, there are talks about Ahmad getting a new contract. Them negotiations are going on. We've heard that from the club. And it should be a case that he will get a contract, but you still don't know. You still don't know. And circumstances will dictate what Manchester United do in the summer. And it could possibly be that there needs to be a make weight. And you don't know. You don't know what Man United will do. I reckon they could get Ahmad signed up to a contract, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to keep him. And obviously, with his only having his 1 year extension triggered as well, that they're not going to get that much money for him if they want to sell him. So realistically, when you look at it, we're in a bit of a tight spot, and it is a difficult one right now with certain players, all created by the manager Ten Hag and the ownership model, Murto, Arnold, and the whole mess, all of them together and what they've created, and Ineos trying to pick out little bits out of what they can. So yeah, it's going to be a few years before we actually see Ineos really bare their teeth, I think. And by that I mean like seeing all of these little signings that they're making of the younger players coming through, and United actually saving money. In fact, Manchester United haven't even sent out their usual team of staff to the European fixture for fans to go and collect tickets from. So what United used to do, and this is another cost-cutting thing from Ineos, they used to send a team of maybe, about 7 or 10 members of staff out. And what fans had to do was there will be a hotel or a meeting point where you would collect your away ticket for a European game, either the day before or the morning of the actual fixture. And they would have all the tickets there, everyone's names and everything lined up, and they would go and make sure that all of the fans got their tickets. Now they've stopped that. They're not sending staff out. Again, they're cutting everything they possibly can in Ineos right now, and they're now sending PDF tickets out to fans so they can just download them and print them out themselves, ready for the game. Now, obviously, that gives you a bit of a concern, doesn't it? Because if you printed it outright, can you do it digitally? And you're stressing at getting to the game. You had that security as a fan before going into these European games. It's now not there because it is seen as a cost-cutting experiment from Ineos, and they want to bring all of the outgoings down. As we know, they are chopping and chopping and chopping, and they will get to where they want to eventually. How long that will take, I don't know. But all we really care about is the chopping and changing, which brings results on the pitch. How long is that going to take? 2028, apparently. Omar Barada says we're going to be lifting that title. Lonan in the chat says he experiments with the team. It's not going. If he experiments with the team, it's not going to be. It's not going to be the outcome of the season. It needs a change in the team. I could work without Bruno. I think a lot of people could. Gehan says Erik ten Hag doesn't really like Ahmad, otherwise he would play him. This manager still has to go. Christian will be playing at 10 this week. I agree with that one. Erik ten Hag should try a Nacho at left back, Ahmad right wing, Rasmus number 9, and Rashford number 10. Change the formation, double pivot with Eriksen and Casemiro or Agate. Show us your balls, Erik ten Hag. Well, not literally, but it shows that you have got a little bit of change in you, I would say. Corinthians says, I would like to see Xerxes and Rasmus together, but I reckon it will be Christian in the number 10. I get it. I do think that will be it. Again, someone else saying exactly the same as what the poll is saying. 50% of you, Eriksen will start instead of Bruno against Fenerbahce on Thursday. This is the reason why people that stop you they are running away from you. You are chatting rubbish. Is that me, Sonny? I don't know. I think you're talking complete crap there because Bruno isn't playing and we're making a video about who's going to replace him. So, yeah, I don't know if that's to me. Maybe you should shut up. I don't know if it is. What stats is staff? I love this. Created chances was crap when no one's seen chances at goal in relation to Bruno. Going off last season and the season before, the problem with Eriksen is when we play against good sides, he fades away. We have had some hard matches coming. We have some hard matches coming up, and that will be the test. Yes, it would. If Maino had been fit, I bet there would have been a few saying play him at number 10, says Shawboy. I would have been one of them because Mainu was a natural 10 in the youth academy. Almac says we should have kept Kovar instead of spending 52 million on Anana. Should have kept Alvaro Fernandez instead of renting Regulon. Wasted money. Poorly run football club. Yes, Barada is a must fan. Forum has said due to on-pitch performances, United's finances are in a gloomy state. Look, Omar Barada will come into United, having been at other football clubs, and be absolutely blown away and amazed by how things are actually moving at Manchester United and how the club is being run. He will be absolutely blown away by how poorly Manchester United have been run for the size of the football club. That's why he's been brought in by Ineos. That's why he is there at the forefront of everything that is changing at the football club. He is a doer. He is a get on with it and make it happen. He will make things better at Manchester United, and he will help Manchester United run a more smoother operation, 100% guaranteed. By the way, everybody, make sure that you do tune in to Big Up for the Watch Along on Thursday. That is our Watch Along platform. I am going to be doing another show actually tonight. I may do it tonight or maybe tomorrow night, but stay tuned for that. I'll put it out. I'm going to be doing a tactics show before the game. I may even do one after the game as well. So we have a full-on tactics board breakdown, Monday Night Football style from Sky on Big Up. So if you want to get a bit of extra detail and get involved in a show like that, make sure you have clicked onto the link in the description for Big Up, our watch-along platform. We are going to be doing a separate show on the tactics with the tactics board out and everything and breaking down how Manchester United approach the game against Fenerbahce as well. May do that tonight actually, or maybe even tomorrow as well. But yeah, that and the watch along live on Thursday night. So make sure that you're there. Make sure that you are ready to go. Let's get some more comments in on this one. Let's see. Should have kept Jose instead of Ten Hag, says Lee. Let's see. The old situation with overspending on Andre Onana. Like, Onana's having an alright season. Let's not kid ourselves. He is doing well, and he's surprised a few people, including myself. But did we need to do it? Did we need to buy Mount? Did we need to buy Onana? The summer we bought Andre Onana and the summer we bought Mason Mount was Ten Hag's worst summer ever. He lost the players. He had the fallout with Sancho. He had the nightmare pre-season. The players he brought in weren't right for what we needed. And don't get me wrong, I like Mount. I like Rasmus Højlund. I don't think we needed an Arna. Like I said, he's done well this season so far. No issue at all with him. But did we need to buy them 3 players? We didn't need to buy Mount. We didn't need to buy a goalkeeper. We needed to buy a holding midfielder, which we've done this summer. And we needed a goal-scoring striker. No disrespect, Rasmus, I love him, and he's getting better and better. But this is why we are where we are, because of recruitment and Ten Hag signings from last summer and the summer before. Again, not Ten Hag's fault about the money that was paid for them players and the wages that them players are on. That is all down to the club. But Christian Eriksen, I feel, Martinez, good signings within that summer. I think fair value. We could have got Martinez cheaper, but look, 50 million for a quality centre-back like that, I think that's decent money. Eriksen on a free, definitely the right type of signing to make, giving us that experience, and has done a job for us, not costing us anything. Understand that. Good. It's the Casemiro one on stupid money and stupid wages, chasing Frenkie de Jong all bleeding summer. Antony in that window as well. So, I mean, we signed some crap, didn't we? We did. I'm not saying Casemiro's crap. I'm saying Antony's crap. I'm saying we didn't need to spend that money on Casemiro. And obviously, the season after, it's gone even worse. Because we bought players that we didn't need. We spent an absolute shed load. You should have been going out there and getting a goal-scoring striker. That's what you should have been doing. And there are strikers out there that you could have got. We just didn't want to spend the money. Double A's in the chat as well. Good morning to you, mate. Hope you're doing well. What's everyone thinking ahead of the game like? It's a difficult one. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, obviously. But it's going to be an interesting game, I feel. I'm kind of worried for the week. I am. I think we're going to be knackered. If West Ham have got a full week to prepare for us on Sunday, I don't like that place as it is. Our record there is shocking. It really is, isn't it? So when you look at it, it's not ideal. We don't really want to be going to West Ham after going to Fenerbahce. Yeah, you could say on paper the games after that, they're all at home pretty much now, from the West Ham game this weekend all the way to the end of this group of games before international break. They're all home games. Leicester at home in the league, Chelsea at home in the league, Leicester at home in the Carabao Cup, and I think PAOK in the Europa League as well. So home advantage for the rest of this period of games. Does that matter for Manchester United? Is that important? Well, we will see, won't we? But the big question is, and going back to the start of the video, is who replaces Bruno Fernandes and who comes in? The biggest concern is you're looking at that game against West Ham, and yes, we have to rest players, bring players in. And you know what? Maybe Bruno being out and coming back in for the West Ham game may work out well for us. But the big point what I take from it is it doesn't matter what that Bruno Fernandes replacement, whoever that is, in that game on Thursday night against Fenerbahce, it doesn't matter how well he plays in that position. He will not go back into that position again. Probably not this season, as long as Bruno Fernandes is fit. And that's the problem I've got with it. Because they can perform and actually look really good, and we stumble upon a different option which is going to help us going forward, but Ten Hag will bring Bruno right back into that side. You know he will. And I don't care if he's the captain. You still take him out. It's got to work for you. Has he got the balls to keep Bruno Fernandes out if this goes well? Look, it's probably worked out at the wrong time, actually, because you know we're going to need to put fresher players in against West Ham because of this game this week, and Bruno will naturally come back in. And unfortunately, it will go by. It will pass us by. And the option of seeing whoever plays on Thursday instead of Bruno playing again later on this season would have gone, because Bruno would have been back in naturally for the West Ham game and would have missed the trick. Can Ten Hag look back on what happened against Fenerbahce and use it again in the future? Well, the game that you would say is perfect for that is that Leicester Carabao Cup game, so maybe we'll see something there as well. Let's see some more chats in there right now. Is there no one in the youth team that can replace Bruno? Look, we've got plenty of players in the team now that can replace Bruno. We don't need to be bringing anyone else in. Kobbie Mainoo is a 10. He played in 10 for the under-21s before he broke through. So he could easily do it. You've got Ahmad there, you've got Xerxes there. Look, we may even bring in another player in the summer. Look, the key one to watch, I feel, is that keep an eye on this, and we have done a video on this before, but keep an eye on the likes of Angel Gomez. Free transfer next summer. If he wants to come back to United, you could have the perfect ready-made replacement for Bruno Fernandes there. And you know what I mean? If you're losing Christian Eriksen on a free transfer in the summer, if you want to replace him with a younger, clear, quality player like Angel Gomez, it works out perfect. I think United should be all over that. I really do. I think Angel Gomez should be at the top of their list as need-must players to look at this summer. Look, if you ain't got a lot to spend, I'd be getting into him now and communicating, because it looks like from what's been said that Christian Eriksen's contract is not going to be renewed. So, really, if you can get a player in for free because you're losing one, but it's an automatic upgrade, which it is because of his age and his quality, get all over it. Seriously, you need to, don't you? But that is this morning's show, everybody. I'm just going to end the poll there. And we are finishing with Eriksen in at number 10. I thought it would go that way, but we broke down the options and we gave everyone a chance to get their players in as well. Thank you all mods and members. That is it for today. I'll be back later on this evening. We've got a show coming up. It's going to be a bit earlier this evening as well. Another special show coming up because there's football tonight, Champions League, so things will be moving a bit earlier. I'll keep you all updated. Stay tuned to the notifications on the channel as well for what's happening this evening. But thank you, everyone. I'll see you all later. Absolute legends. Subscribe to For Every Night TV. Hit that like button on your way out and have a fantastic day.